Blog Talk Radio.
Coming at you live from the parking lot of Dunkin' Donuts, gang. You're listening to UMOR, Uncensored MMA online radio, with your hosts, Big Perm and the Butcher. Hey, thanks for tuning in, everybody. It's your host, Big Perm, along with my co-host, Dave the Butcher Clifford. Dave, how the hell are you tonight?
I am doing great, and hey, dude, what was that intro song? That shit was dope, man. Who is that?
That's a local artist from here in Peoria, a guy by the name of Dollar Bill Magnuson. The name of that song was Knocking Heads Off.
Man, that was sweet. I like that, man. Tell Dollar Bill the Butcher said, what's up?
I will, man, and he was super stoked to hear that I was going to be using his music. I'm a huge fan of his stuff, and really anybody local, any local artists, I try and help them out and make sure that they get some exposure, because they're struggling, just like the next guy. But Dave, we're coming off of UFC 148 weekend. Probably the biggest news in the MMA world was Anderson Silva and Chael Sonnen going at it for a second time. And to my surprise, the fight ended in round 2. I thought we'd see a replay of, the first fight, but, boy, I was really surprised. What do you think about it?
Well, I mean, especially after the first round kind of going that way, I was like, oh man, because I was at my 20-year high school reunion. I didn't have a show this weekend,
right,
for that. And so it got over with in time for me to just get there to watch them announcing those guys for the main event. And so I got to see it. In the first round, I was real disappointed. I'm like, man, because I really wanted Anderson Silva to kick his ass. And
Sonnen took him down quick, didn't he?
Yeah, he really did. In that first round, really, it was like, you could call that round 6. It was just like the first 5, minus the triangle, of course.
Right.
And which did end the fight and solidify the title, which happened again. He just proved who the better fighter was. And, maybe this time he didn't have any enhancements. And so perhaps he was a little bit more exposed. And you can't say anything other than, there's a lot of people complaining about stuff out there, I guess. And to what I say, to the knee and the shorts, a still photo can show a lot of stuff. You might have let right go. People are bitching about Vaseline. The fact of the matter is that guy built up his, Sonnen built up this hype in a very creative and entertaining way, and I enjoyed it. It made me love to hate him. It was Roddy Piper and shit. It really brought back memories and made it fun. So I'm not bitching about it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but I'm sure glad that Silva kicked his ass because I wanted to see him lose.
Without a doubt.
How I felt. That's how I feel, dog.
You had mentioned the knee, the grease, the shorts. There's been a lot of complaints, as I'm reading the news websites and reading the forums, a lot of people bitching about, how Anderson, wiped the grease on himself, and then, was grabbing Chael's shorts. I mean, it was pretty obvious he was hanging on to him. But the biggest thing, I think, a lot of people saw that knee when Chael was, had his back up against the cage sitting on his butt. And a lot of people thought that knee went right through his face. Me personally, watching the replays, it looked like it was a legal knee where, hit him in the sternum and then slid down his belly. But, one story I noticed today was that Sonnen's coach was actually going to appeal the victory with the Athletic Commission, and, he's seeking a no contest and a rematch. What do you think about Sonnen Silva 3?
I'd say the same thing's going to happen, maybe even quicker this time. Other than that, I think that I haven't heard Sonnen bitching about it. I think his coach, the article I read today, quoting his coach saying that he thought Sonnen might retire after this, that it's just he's had enough. That was believable.
It's a lot of speculation coming out right after the fight.
Yeah, usually I wait until a couple of people that I respect come out and verify stuff. Like there's a few people that I follow on the internet. Bloodstained Lane's one of them. He'll usually tell me what's bullshit and what's not. He's got a blog and stuff, video blog that he does, Bloodstained Lane. Check it out, the Team Takeover. He's a good dude. kind of one of my mentors in this and what I do, because he's not afraid to say what the fuck you want. And one of the things that I think, it's kind of like getting into the Gray Maynard, Frankie Edgar thing. I don't want to see this fucking fight again. I don't really give a shit when anybody happened. I mean, fucking Chael cheated the first fight. So who gives a shit? It's part of the fucking game. A lot of people take a lot of like Chael Sonnen's never taken a shortcut. Obviously he did, because he failed a fucking drug test for shit that I don't know what it is. And I don't have a computer in front of me or nothing. So, you know, I say fuck off with all that shit. Quit whining and bitching. Sonnen hasn't bitched. He took it like a man. He got his ass kicked. You know, I feel about the knee. I think it might have been almost heading for his head, but if you notice watching the tape, Sonnen kind of blocks it and almost pushes it to his sternum.
So it kind of turned his head away even. I mean, I don't think it hit him in the face at all.
It was headed that way almost. It seemed that way, but it also looked like Sonnen blocked it down to his damn sternum. And either way, nobody called anything. The match is over. You can go back and say stuff, and they can take steps to prevent it in the future. But all in all, I was very happy with the short fight. The guy I liked won, finally. I broke a streak of mine, and I was very pleased with it. I don't want to see it again. Dude, like, everybody I rooted for fucking lost for months and almost years, dude. Like, even friends of mine almost. Like, you know, I'd root for them and like, dude, man, maybe I shouldn't, because they'll lose.
Just stop watching it all together. Wait for the results.
Yeah, man, my streak is broken. I'm very happy about it. I'm pleased with Silva's victory. I'm not worried about who he fights next. That's up to the matchmakers, and they've proven to be pretty qualified to the most part. And he's decimated everybody in front of him. And I'm very interested in John Jones's next fight against Dan Henderson. If you want to talk about the UFC, that's what I'm focused on right now.
Well, that's going to be a very, very interesting matchup. And you know, I'm going to put my money on John Jones.
Yes, it is.
That's going to be a really, really good one. But Johnny Bones Jones, I'll put $5 on that one, man.
I'll tell you what. I'll put a box of those fine Dunkin' Donuts that you could get out of the car and go get for that out of the parking lot there, homie. But
maybe I ought to do that, you know, for all this exposure that Dunkin' Donuts is getting. I should go in here and demand a dozen donuts or some shit.
I will say this about that topic, okay, about John Jones. If he does beat Dan Henderson in a convincing fashion, which he's proven lately to be fallible, and if you look at who he's fought, it's the best motherfucking fighters out there. I mean, that's who he's fighting.
The best of the best.
I mean, really, this is their premier division. Because quite frankly, heavyweight's boring as fuck, dude. I like Roy Nelson, you know. I think he's cool.
Well, and the thing I like about Roy is he just doesn't give a fuck. He is what he is and goes out there and just beats ass and doesn't care what you think about him.
I like him. I like Crow Cop, but he's too old now. You know, I'm not impressed with fucking Boris Karloff or whatever the hell, the guy from Minnesota, the wrestler there that was the champ for a minute and came back, and what the fuck's his name? Jeez.
Oh, you got me.
Brock Lesnar.
Oh,
Brock
yeah,
Lesnar.
Yeah, Cock Bressner. Yeah.
He sucks, you know. I mean, I just don't. I'm not excited about him. Frank Mir is just God. I mean, Frank Mir's almost a Chael Sonnen as far as I just want to see him get his fucking ass kicked. I respect all these guys, though. To be honest with you, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that these guys all bust their ass and work really hard. Anybody that does it, on down to the amateur level, dude. Anybody that is able to get into a cage and be competitive and have people want to watch them and book them to fight has my respect. I enjoy the ability. Yeah.
Later tonight, the second half of the show, around 8:30, we're going to be talking with Ultimate Fighter Live Season 15 cast member Chris Tickle. But up first, we're going to be talking with one amateur fighter and possibly two. We're going to be talking with Mike Duckett. Mike's one of two main event fighters coming up this Saturday, July 14th at Mississippi Mayhem. It's an event that's put on by BlueBlood MMA. It'll be at Ducky's
where is
Lagoon.
that? Where's that located?
It's going to be at Ducky's Lagoon out in Andalusia, Illinois, just outside
Andalusia, Illinois.
Yeah, good old Andalusia.
And what time does that all amateur event start?
Oh shoot, if I'm not mistaken, the gates are at 5 and the event itself starts at 6. I have to look at my poster real quick. No, I'm sorry. Doors are at 4, and the first fight is at 5.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you want to get there early then.
Oh, yeah, and not only is this a great outdoor MMA event, but it's also a charity fundraiser. Portions from each ticket are going to be going to help out a great man, an outstanding fighter, a guy by the name of Sherman the Tank Pendergast. He's battling cancer, and so this event is also going to be a fundraiser to help Sherman with his battle with cancer. But
that's awesome. I mean, well, Chris does a lot of good stuff in the MMA world out there in Illinois, and of course over in Iowa from time to time. And I'm really pleased that I got to meet him. I'm really, if I didn't meet him, obviously the founder and guy that runs BlueBlood MMA right there. If I didn't know him, I wouldn't be talking to you right now, my brother.
Amen, man. And I can say the same. I've known Chris for a lot of years. Heck, back in the day, he started as an employee of mine. And, over the years, we've traded places. And, now we've just remained real good friends. And I try and help him, spread the word about MMA and help this sport grow as much as we can. And,
well, it really does provide a lot of good things for a lot of people who normally or who wouldn't really have anything else to do,
Absolutely, and it provides them, that avenue to reach the next level. Now with Mike, his opponent is a guy by the name of Anthony Angel, and hopefully Anthony, he's working tonight. Hopefully he'll have 5 or 10 minutes where he can call into the show as well, and we can have Mike and Anthony both on the line at the same time and pull the pin on that grenade and see what happens.
Yeah, we actually, speaking of Chris Tickle as well, that one of the cool things that we did on my other show there. Oh, go ahead.
I got the phone ringing. Yeah, I heard a phone ringing.
What's up?
Hey, Mike Duckett, what the hell's going on, motherfucker?
Oh, not a whole lot. Just chilling around. You know how Diesel does.
Yeah, buddy. Well, Mike, this is Big Perm. You're on with me and, of course, my co-host, Dave the Butcher Clifford.
Hey, how's it going, Mike?
What's going on, fellas?
Oh, we're just chilling, talking shit.
Same here.
Good deal. Well, Mike, we were just talking about your fight coming up this Saturday, July 14th. It's Mississippi Mayhem out there at Ducky's Lagoon in Andalusia. You're fighting a guy by the name of Anthony Angel. Give me your thoughts on this fight, man. What have you been doing to prepare for Mr. Angel?
Well, I've been studying a lot of his fights. I know that he's a wrestler, and he comes from a wrestling camp, and so I'm expecting him to look shoot early on. So I'm working a lot of wrestling defense and a lot of takedown defense and a lot of wall work. And as always, I've just been trying to perfect my technique and the stand-up and the jiu-jitsu aspects of the game. And I'm looking to come out pretty intense for this fight. I'm the main event, so I'm looking to put on the show.
Now, when you're the main event, which I don't know if you're, it sounds to me by the way you speak already, and that I remember seeing you. I actually was the announcer in Davenport, Iowa, at the Fight Legends of the Quad Cities. Didn't you fight on that card?
Yeah, I fought a guy by the name of Carlos Eggers that night.
That's right. I remember that. I actually announced that, so that's where I've seen you before. And so you actually fought early on the card that night. So how do you prepare? Is there anything different on like let's just say game day, right? Fight day. What do you do different now if you're the main event and you know that you might not be fighting? Now, obviously, this is a day event, so you're going to be fighting at around 7 or possibly 8 o'clock, which isn't too bad. But normally, if you were a main event, you'd be fighting at possibly 11:30 at some of these venues. Do you change anything up?
Well, for this card, we know it's going to be outside. We expect a hot day. Saturday, supposed to be in the 90s. So I'm just going to kick back in Ducky's Lagoon most of the day, try not to drain myself in the sun, and, just stay mentally prepared and calm, This is the first time I've been the main event, so I'm used to fighting early on the shows and getting it out of the way. So my nerves are going to be there pushing me throughout the day, but I'll be ready to go come fight time.
Okay, well, now are any teammates fighting on this card? So are you going to be pretty involved, or are you going to have time to chill?
Well, yeah, I actually have my boy Jose All Day Vasquez fighting. He's fighting a guy by the name of Jamie Tiggs. So, yeah, my nerves are just definitely going to be pumping whenever a teammate's fighting. I'm there yelling and screaming and trying to help them out as they're fighting. So, that's definitely going to play a part, but I'm going to try and keep my composure and try not to wear myself out.
Well, and what are your strong points? I noticed you alluded to striking and jiu-jitsu, and to be a top-notch fighter at any level of this game nowadays, you got to be a hybrid. Now, what started? Where's your background in fighting?
I don't really have a background. My background would probably just be, street fighting. I got into mixed martial arts through Chris, the owner of BlueBlood MMA. I just liked fighting, enjoyed fighting in the streets, and I asked Chris to get on a show, and he gave me the names of a few gyms around, and I got hooked up with Marty's Martial Arts, and there I chose to perfect my stand-up. That's where I like to keep the fight. That's where I prefer. I like to stand and bang, take a shot to give a shot. That's what I like to do, but I'm comfortable on my back or on the ground in any position. With Marty Perez, we learned crazy jiu-jitsu, so I'm comfortable wherever the fight goes, but I prefer to keep it standing.
Well, Mike,
that's what gets you main events. That's for sure. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, with you had just said that you got into MMA through Chris and BlueBlood MMA and the shows that he puts on, and that's Chris's events are a huge stepping stone for a lot of amateur fighters who are looking to turn pro. What are your thoughts on making that leap from amateur to pro? A lot of guys want to turn pro because they want to make that money and they want to get paid. But I've seen a lot of amateur fighters make that leap too soon, and they weren't prepared. So what are your thoughts on making the leap to pro? And what are your coaches and your manager types telling you about turning pro?
Well, a lot of my sponsors have been pushing me to go pro for a while, and I've kind of been holding it off. I know I still have leaps and bounds to go before I think I can do really good in the pro leagues. But I'm hoping for this to be my last amateur fight. My first amateur fight was at Ducky's Lagoon, and I'm hoping for this to be my last one there. So I'm looking for 2 W's there, and I'm just looking to perfect my game each and every day to get better and better, because I know once I go pro, there's no slouches there.
Well, I'll tell you what, how many amateur fights do you have?
I've had 7. This will be my 8th one.
And what's your record at this time?
4-3 officially, but I count the Carlos Eggers as a win because I did knock him out. So I go with 5-2.
Yeah, I remember that there was some controversy involved in quite a few of those fights early on, and that the commission stepped in and made some changes. And I did notice that a lot of the people on the early part of that card got slighted, which is, that happens. People, it's a human, humans judging humans, taking care of humans, and, there's going to be mistakes. But so now it sounds to me like your sponsors play a role. Now, most guys, being here in Michigan, their coaches really handle all of that stuff. Now, is Marty Perez your primary coach, or who handles when you book fights?
Marty is definitely my go-to guy. Before I make any decisions as far as fighting or promotions or sponsorship goes, Marty's the first guy I talk to, and he's the main guy in my ear that influences all my decisions. So he definitely plays a huge role in what I do as a fighter.
Well, Mike, we were hoping that your competitor, Anthony Angel, would be able to call in tonight and be a part of the show as well, but Anthony's working, and checking my switchboard here, I don't see him calling in. We were talking the last few weeks on the show about judging in MMA, and you guys were just talking about that last event back in April, and some of the decisions being overturned by the Athletic Commission. We know what the issues are in judging. We know what some of the problems are. What would be some of your ideas for correcting things? What do you got in mind that they could do to make things better?
I think there should be some type of rules as far as being an MMA judge, not just letting any Dick, Larry, or Tom judge an MMA fight, or letting a boxing judge or a wrestling coach judge an MMA fight. Let an MMA judge an MMA fight. That way there's no controversy, and they know what they're looking for. And, it's not a one-sided judging where, 2 judges have it 30-27 for one guy and one judge has it 30-27 for the other guy, or, where there's controversial draws or whatever, because
Well, and one thing I recall about that Iowa show is the issues we were speaking of were referee related, and that the judges were commission appointed. And in states where there's a commission, you're fighting in Illinois at an amateur show. I'm not sure if there's a commission for amateurs in Illinois or not. We don't have one in Michigan. It's the Wild fucking West here. It's great. You do whatever the fuck you want, pretty much.
Right.
But I noticed that in Iowa, they had their shit together, man. I mean, they were easy going. It wasn't like Michigan where you got guys with badges on. There's 14 of them. You got to drop, 10 or 20 grand on them just to get them to show up at your show, and they take over your back house. No one is allowed in there. But I noticed in Iowa, they kind of had their shit together. They even used replay to overturn and call a fight a no contest.
Right.
I remember announcing. I forget whose fight it was. It was early on too, and so I mean. There was like a phantom tap or something.
I think you were might have been talking about the Frank Young and Mike Lindquist fight.
Yeah, that fight was called a no contest, wasn't it?
I think Frank had won the fight, and then they overturned it and ruled no contest. After Frank had left, I heard he was out celebrating the win, and then he gets a call that it was overturned. So,
right.
Well,
in certain cases, I know that's right. It's a good thing to do, but I just think they should pick the right judges. Like in my fight,
I
for
agree
example.
with the boxing thing. They shouldn't be boxing judges. But go ahead. Sorry, man.
Like in my fight, even with the referees, I had need my opponent in the head 2 times before the third one knocked him out, and I got no warning whatsoever from the referee, no stoppage to take points away. I just instantly disqualified. So I think they definitely need to step their game up in who they pick to judge and referee fights these days, because it's definitely going to a whole nother level as MMA is evolving and becoming a bigger fan sport.
Well, it's a lot more competitive too. The guys that you're going up against are training too now. It's a little more advanced. It's pretty cool to watch it. I've been in it just a short time, 4 years now, and just to watch how it's grown and just blown up everywhere across the country in that short amount of time. And, I got a lot of respect for you guys and the hard work that you put in for nothing. I'm glad that you're going to be able to go pro and that you've got some good guidance. I met Marty Perez when I was at the Fight Legends card, and he was a real straight-up cat. He's one of those people that you can see is real. And it looks to me like you've got yourself a good coach and you're on your way for a good career. And I definitely hope you get yourself a win this weekend.
Hey, I appreciate it. I'm definitely hoping for that W too. I'm looking for nothing different.
Well, Mike, like I said, I was hoping Anthony would call in, but we're just about running out of time with you tonight, man. And obviously, Anthony, busy at work, wasn't able to find the time to call in, but I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys fight on Saturday night. I'll be there Friday at the weigh-ins. Get a chance to meet you and put a face to the voice and say, how are you? Is there anything else you want to throw out there before we let you go, Mike? Any words for your friends, your fans that are listening?
I just want to thank everybody that's supporting me, everybody that's coming out to Mississippi Mayhem this weekend. I'm looking to put on a show for you guys. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you guys giving me the time of day to let me speak my mind and get my word out there.
Well, hey, Mike, we're glad that you took time to talk with us.
Our pleasure.
Absolutely. Well, Mike, it was great talking with you, brother. You take care, and good luck on Saturday, man.
All right, thank you. You too.
All right, bud. Bye-bye.
Later.
Bye-bye.
All right, Dave, he's a good kid.
Yeah, Mike's got a good head on his shoulders, and training over there with Marty Perez and the guys, he's definitely got some good coaches and good people in his ear, guiding him in the right direction. And, like he said, he's anxious to turn pro. I can tell he's ready to go. But, he knows that, he needs to make sure that his game is top-notch, before he makes that step, because there are no slouches once you turn pro, and there ain't no going back.
And with a good coach like that, they'll work with matchmakers to make sure. They've got good matchmakers in the area. I mean, Chris is one of them. Mike Camp is close by. I mean, Milicic has a camp there. I'm sure he does something. I mean, there's lots of good MMA
Mike
knowledge.
Smith, Kims, again, the guys, Marty Perez and those guys.
Yep,
there's a lot.
I mean,
the Quad
Clay
Cities
Guida's in your area, and he's not far away. It's really, and there was 2 things I really noticed in that interview. that, and it was, props to him for being, for being such a young cat to be that knowledgeable to speak so well. He really alluded to some good points there. Two that I noticed in particular that we had spoke of earlier, one being the fact that he liked to street fight. Well, that's, you get in trouble for that shit. So now he has a way of doing something that he likes to do in a competitive, safe environment, and Chris helped him get there. It's just part of what we were talking about. I didn't even know that until he said it. It's just something I was touching on earlier. And
it's these local regional shows where guys all get their start. And, I mean, nobody's just going straight from the street right into the UFC except for what I think Kimbo did that. I think
no, and he didn't. And look what happened there. What you do is, what it can do for people. Not everybody's Anderson Silva. There's only one of those guys, dude.
Right.
I mean, there's only one GSP. There's lots of good fighters out there, lots of great fighters out there that are never going to fight in the UFC. But what they do, just like people that, like some of the people we mentioned, when the time came, they were just a little past their prime and didn't go fight, but now they train a bunch of people, and now they become great coaches and judges and corner guys and cut men and promoters and gym owners. These guys have, and what happens there is now you're building a community, and now that community spans the nation, and you've got tons of people that are all pretty much going for the same thing, and we all kind of weed out the bad ones. It really does work that way. It's really cool to be a part of that.
There are a handful of bad ones out there, but they quickly fall by the wayside. That's for damn sure.
Not always, but eventually that's just how it goes. We are building a community. It's very young. I mean, when people talk about old school, it's like, wow, cool. I'm not.
Old school is only 20 years ago.
and hardly. 20 years ago there wasn't. Just barely.
What was it, 93? I mean, in the early 90s, people didn't even know who the Gracies were. You say Gracie, and it's like, what, huh?
Well, and when you watched it, I luckily had a really good friend that showed me all that stuff, like, early on, and then I didn't think it was going to take, to be honest, and I've said that. I remember, I was like, wow, that's a little bit boring, man, but it's pretty cool that those guys are so hardcore. I enjoy and appreciate what...
The first time I saw it, I was just enamored, man. I just
fell in
great.
love with it. I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. I loved it.
Shit.
Yeah, myself, I thought it was great, but I didn't think it was going to sell. I didn't think they'd get that off. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and they had their battles. There was
to be fair, they had to change the rules.
Yeah, exactly. They had a lot to adapt, just to I guess to the norms of society, just so people would accept it mainstream. And they're still
it's an athletic contest. It's the oldest type of contest that there ever was. I mean, wrestling is one of the oldest things that people do besides hunting and breathing and shit.
That goes all the way back, thousands of years.
Competition, let's compete. That's what we do. That's fun.
Well, Dave, before we get on with our next guest, I got a little something for you. This song's called Legalize It.
Is it really the cat's meow or
and it's just for you.
A feast of death?
Marijuana is an intoxicating, mind-muddling drug.
Says the government, they love it when they catch you puffing it, making money from it even though they're funding it. And how come a cigarette has never had a punishment? We die from the alcohol, but they don't hear none of it. Consider this, I smoke weed every day, but I had a drink before I smoked, so what's the gateway? I also decided to put tobacco in my lungs. That was way before I started twisting up the blunts. But now I don't drink and I don't touch cigarettes. We was legal way before both, so who's the hypocrite? Legalization is hesitant, but if Clinton got caught not inhaling, would he ever make president? I elevate awareness for the youth who want to know the truth. It's never claimed a life or cause cancer, and that's proof. Let's take time to give props to
Juice by prostitution.
We need to make a difference. You should come and take a glimpse. We can sell him for everything, but can't create the him.
Well, Dave, that's another track by my boy Dollar Bill called Legalize It.
Damn.
You like
Damn,
that
was spot on, dude. That was great. That was awesome.
Dollar Bill, you can find a lot of his tracks on YouTube. It's DOLLABILL, Dollar Bill. And that track was called Legalize It, and of course you know what frame of mind he was in writing that track.
Yeah, for sure. And it's the same frame of mind that I like to be in. It says, my boy Chris just texted me and said Tickle's only got like 15 minutes, so I don't know what time he's coming on.
Oh, it's just now 8:30, and I'm about to, dial this number right here.
Well, see, we were right on cue, huh? Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, it's 8:29, and I had him set up for 8:30, so there it is. Got to keep their heads ringing.
Yeah. Hey, what's up?
Tickle, what's going on, you bad motherfucker?
Hey, what's going on, guys? What's cracking?
Hey, it's been
chilling, man.
Me and the Butcher Dave.
What's up, Butcher?
Oh, I'm just chilling, homie. Just glad to be talking to you again. You know, just checking in again and seeing how things are going with you.
Oh, life's going great, man. I hope you're having a good day, you guys, for real.
Oh, absolutely, man. You were out golfing earlier today, man. How'd you do?
Shot in 86, man. I freaking missed 2 eagle putts and a couple birdie putts. But overall, I played pretty well, man.
Holy cow!
I was hungover as fuck too, though. So.
if I do under 150, I'm doing good. I'm terrible at golf. I love playing it, but man, I'm terrible.
I tell you what, I actually played in the state tournament when I was in high school, man.
Oh, did you really? Oh,
I can rock that shit, bro. Have a good time.
I had a 325-yard drive today and then went on the green and stuck it, lit my eagle putt. I was pissed.
Damn, though, man. You probably got some power. I would imagine that.
Yeah, I played pretty good.
So, Chris, tell us, man, what's life been like since The Ultimate Fighter? Now that you're a UFC fighter, man, what's it like, brother?
Good, man. You know, life's the same. Came back home, you know, going back teaching my classes. You know, nothing really changed, but you know, I got more money in my pocket and I'm happier.
Amen, man.
Sure.
I know, I've followed your career since you were an amateur, you know, here in Central Illinois. Watched you fight all over the place, man. Watched you turn pro, and you know, it's just so great to see you and being a local guy on the big stage. That's just so awesome, man. I can't say that enough.
Hey, thank you, man.
You're quite welcome. It's a lot of hard work, man. I know you have worked your ass off. I mean, and the first question I really wanted to ask you, man, you know, when in life did you decide that getting punched in the face and beating the hell out of your body is what you wanted to do to make money?
Shit, man. When I was 25, man, I hit rock bottom. I was getting divorced, pretty much. I got divorced because of fighting, but I couldn't get a job. I was living in Pontiac. You know, they're really prejudiced, and got a lot of trouble as a kid, and I couldn't get a good job anywhere. You know, I didn't want to work for fucking McDonald's or some stupid ass shit like that. You know, I love street fight, and I was like, fuck it. You know what? You know, I'll move my buddy's garage and train full time, and you know, I loved it. And actually, you know, it really saved my life. You know, I'll probably be in prison for right now the rest of my life if I didn't start fighting MMA.
And, you know, Chris, that's what we were talking about earlier. We were discussing Chris Maltzberger and BlueBlood MMA and these smaller local regional shows, you know, providing an outlet for a lot of people that like to fight but don't want to go to jail. And this is that avenue that they have.
Oh, definitely. No, it is.
I can't tell you how many times on the amateur circuit, which is primarily where I work here in Michigan, you know, I do some big shows here and there, and more times than not, you know, you ask a lot of guys, and a lot of them, they stick around, dude. I mean, it's a bug almost. They just get it. And then you see a little pocket in your community of people supporting it, and it's like they're like, look, I get to go, and, you know, a lot of these shows are in nightclubs and stuff like that, and they're like, look, I get to come to the bar, get in a fight. Everybody comes to watch it. It's great, and I can drink afterwards, and I don't go to jail. You know, it was. I hear that a lot, and then that doesn't build a great show necessarily. They used to have tough man contests, and that didn't go over well. So it's not like these guys that I'm talking to are just hopping out of the audience either. They're doing what you're doing. They're in garages right now in Benzonia, Michigan, you know, in Honor and little towns all over all the states now, and to see them make it like you, and to see you get happy, you know, that's pretty sweet, dude. When did you really figure that you were gonna? You know, how did you get to this level? You know, what was it like? Did you ever have any spots where you thought about stopping?
Dude, yeah, a couple of times, man. Like, you know, amateur career was good, man. I had 5 belts. I was stomping everybody, man. And then when I went pro, I won my first fight, and I lost 2 in a row. I was like, what the fuck, man? Because, like, there was no gyms around here that was, you know, real legit gyms. I didn't have a license. I didn't have a car. I had no money. You know, I'm freaking living in a damn garage in an air mattress. And I'm like, fuck, dude, how the hell am I to keep up with these guys? And, you know, and the solution I did was, you know, I trained harder. I went to the gym at 1 o'clock in the morning, you know, after 6 hours training by myself, punching a fucking bag. I had to watch YouTube, you know, and learn kickboxing, you know. That's what I kept on doing. Just kept on grinding as hard as I could, and learn as much as I could. And, you know, I fucking finally made it.
Now, did you take fights on your own accord? Did you just go find them yourself, or do you got a manager? Do you got a guy that, like,
No, like myself. I just Mark Fury's my manager now. I've been with him like about 3 months. After when I fought Brian Garrity, I just signed with Mark Fury. Right before I fought Brian Garrity, before I went to the show. But I've been on my own pretty much the whole time. My amateur career, I had T.J. Moeller, but once again, he didn't know much. I left his gym. He wouldn't teach me anything. I was fighting tough opponents, and I was like, fuck it. I can go on my own and fight for myself, start making someone big, and not even helping me. So, pretty much my whole career I was on my own until Mark came in and I had Garrity.
Well, Christian, you're you're kind of becoming that guy, aren't you? With you becoming a teacher as well, teaching class. Right. Don't you have an event coming up as well, sometime in September?
Yeah, December 15th at the Park Hotel. It's my 4th show. It's called Elite K Series 4, and this show is going to be for the troops. I love the troops and what they're doing for our country, and this show is going to be honored to them. And I'm donating 20% of my proceeds to Big Brother, Big Sister for troubled kids like myself growing up, and it's going to be a great show.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
really
going to be at the Park Hotel in Bloomington, right?
Yep, Park Hotel in Bloomington.
Same. What was the date on that again? September 15th?
Yep, September 15th. I'm trying to bring Dominic Cruz down, but I got to wait to hear if he has any other signings through Famous Star. But if I don't bring him, I'm going to call Miguel Torres and bring Miguel Torres down. Miguel's one of my good buddies. He helped me out.
We ought to try to get a hold of Shamrock for something like that, because he works for the Shamrock Boys Home and does a lot of stuff for troubled kids.
Oh, where's that out of? Where's he out of?
He's out of Nevada, but he travels the country all the time. He's actually coming to Michigan in August. He knows Chris. Holler at Chris about that.
Yeah, definitely. Hell yeah.
Because that's a great cause, and let me know if you got an announcer or not.
Yeah, definitely. Scott Bros?
Oh, cool, man. That's awesome.
You
got your ready to go.
Yeah,
well, Chris, you had mentioned bringing possibly Dominic Cruz or Miguel Torres down.
Every day I'm hustling. Sorry.
Do you still talk to any of the other cast members from the show? I mean, were there any lasting relationships built?
Oh, yeah. I talk to Vic, Lawrence, Cecilia, Jury sometimes, Michelle. I shoot the shit with Proctor and a couple other guys at Crunkshank on Twitter. We're all really good friends, man. We lived in a house for 3 damn months with each other.
Right.
So if you watch the show, there was really no incidents. A couple of times people bickered back. But other than that, everybody got along really, really well, and it was a fun time.
Yeah, it sure looked like it. And you guys did put on one of the best fights on that show, by the way. Obviously Crookie's my boy because he's from, Detroit superstar right there.
Right, that was a good fight, man. Crookie's a tough guy, man. He's a hell of a fighter.
You guys put on a great show, and by no means, I'm sure that what do they do now? How many fights are you expecting to do for them now? Are you going to probably get the call here?
Well, no, everybody who lost got cut, so we got cut. But Sean Shelby, he watched me. He likes me. I'm on the radar, so he said get a win or two, 45 or 35, and we'll give you a contract. So
nice.
Pick up a small fight and get back to UFC. That's where I want to fight at. People ask me to fight in Bellator. Strike Force. I don't want to fight there. I want to fight in the UFC. That's my home, and it's where I always wanted to be in my whole life.
So what kind of pro organizations do you look at going to get wins at in your area now to get back on the UFC? Because a couple of my friends are doing that right now.
Are they? I'm not sure yet. I'm up for offers, but I am signed by Cage Warriors, so I can take fights in London if I want to go. But I don't have a passport. I don't know if I can get one because I got a pretty fucking bad background. But I'm gonna try. But I don't know. Anywhere, St. Louis, Michigan. I'll travel anywhere to fight. I love to fight, put a show on for the fans. So hopefully someone picks me up and gives me a call.
Well, you should definitely put some butts in the seats because you're a character, you're a likable guy, you're popular, and you got a good story. You're a great fighter. Once again, like I said, it's an honor to be hearing that. That's the part that people don't really get to see because all they really watch mostly is the fight part. Being in the house there, it gives everybody. That's why you're seeing these new generations of fighters now. People kind of know them. Because they've lived with you for as long as the show's been on, and so now, do you ever get people coming up to you and making mention of shit, dude?
Sometimes. I was out the other night. This guy come up and goes, "Oh man, we're rooting for you, man. That was badass." It's especially like that. But a lot of people they thought I always had these coaches and shit. I'm like, man, if you guys don't know me, and then how the hell would you make an assumption? Because you can ask anybody around here, I've had shit fucking in my life. I had a heavy bag or
Right.
training partner, man. You know what I'm saying? People always ask me, what's your training partner, fucking heavy bag? You know, I have some amateur fighters, but no pros in my gym.
Well, Chris, that's what I wanted to ask you. You know, what's your take on fans? I mean, you know, there are some fans out there that understand the game, you know, especially when the fight goes to the ground and there's a lot of ground fighting. You're getting those guys, the boo birds. You know, what's your take on the, you know, on the MMA fan, you know, as a whole here in America versus, say, you know, a Japanese fan, you know, and how well understood they are in the game?
Yeah, dude, you know what? I would say American fans, you know, especially when you hear them fucking booing, when two people already get into a cage and beat the shit out of each other, is stupid. You know, like Japan, they're like they understand MMA. You know, they don't boo, they're quiet. You know, because they want you to be able to hear your corners, and when you go for a submission, they clap. You know, that's amazing.
Oh yeah, when you pass, like when you make sweet.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, like, dude, like, the Japanese fans love MMA. I mean, American fans do too, but, you know, this is different culture, I guess. It is, you know, I don't know if we respect it as much, you know. Cause I think that one of the aspects that gets overlooked there that I've noticed, because I've been around quite a bit of the Midwest at least, and I watch a lot too, you know, and what I noticed is that in different areas, like in Michigan, in the amateur circuits and semi-pro and pro circuits in Michigan, there's crowd differential. Like some crowds are just strictly for the hometown boys, and they boo the shit out of you like you're the rival football team or something. Right.
And it's nothing to do about it.
I've been down that road. Yeah, nothing to do about it, man. I've been down that road, you know. But you know,
and they feel like because they paid, they get to boo. And I always correct them if they boo amateurs. I'm not into booing amateurs because those kids are working hard. They're not getting paid. Don't be scarring them. Shut the fuck up. You know, it's cool to boo for just a second. Your hometown boy. But other than that, cut it out. But pros, it's kind of like, you know what? It's a little. You paid your money, you know. So
I fought in St. Louis against a hometown kid in front of 8,000 people. You ever seen 8,000 people booing in that fucking arena?
Yeah,
it feels like a fucking roar, dude.
Does it inspire you?
Oh, that shit puts me up, man. I love it, man. Boo me, man. I'm gonna beat his ass. The more you boo me, the harder I'm gonna kick your freaking hometown kid in the freaking head.
Did you win? Did you win the fight?
Oh yeah. Oh, dude. That one I lost against Duver, but the one after that I fought Jimmy Donahue at the Maristar Casino. I hit kicked and knocked him out in the first round. Yeah, that's on YouTube.
Wow. Did you silence the crowd?
Oh yeah, they were quiet. Like, dude, like there's another one I fought somewhere in Iowa. I think it was Mossberger's show. I fought pro. I can't think of his name. Pro kickboxer. And I anaconda him. I jumped in the cage. And
Marshall Blevins.
Yeah, Marshall Blevins. And I was like, yeah, come on, boo now. Then no one booed me.
That's awesome, dude. I love that silence sometimes. That silence when a hometown boy gets beat is sometimes, unless it's my boy, it sucks. But other times it's like, you know, I like that. As an announcer, like, I like to ask fighters that. I'm like, what's better? Sometimes that roaring, loud-ass crowd or the silence of that you just whooped the hometown boys ass?
Yeah,
well,
man.
With Marshall Blevins, with that Blevins fight, not only did he choke the shit out of him, but that was the dude's retirement fight. That was his last fight.
Yeah.
And Chris choked him.
That's the first round he retired.
That's awesome, man.
That was a nasty choke.
Great.
That was sweet. I was cage side for that. That was badass.
You know what's crazy too is I had the same choke on Crunching, Anaconda, and they're like, I saw some guy writing a blog. This is crazy shit. It's on what's it called? There's a weird blog site. I can't think of it. You put like pictures up and people can write blog posts. But I got on there and read this. This guy was doing live feed for this MMA part. And he's like, Chris, I went for some stupid choke. I don't know what the hell that fucking choke is. That's a fucking anaconda choke. How do you not know what an anaconda choke looks like? If you're a freaking MMA writer. Like, how stupid are you?
Oh, you'd be surprised at some of these people. I don't know where they find them, dude.
Yeah,
the keyboard warriors.
I get so fucking pissed off about that. I'm like, dude, I could be doing that. I watch people doing interviews. I'm like, why the fuck you asking them that? I don't care if you give me a card or not. I'm going to get in there, and it's going to be fucking entertaining. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, exactly. Right.
Wait, Chris, another one of your fights that I was present for was another one of Chris's events in Wilton, Iowa, back when you fought Junior Hernandez.
Yeah, Junior.
Yeah, I mean,
wow.
That was a battle, man. You ended up losing that fight, but, what are your thoughts on Junior Hernandez and where he's at nowadays?
Dude, I can't believe I thought Junior would be on the show with us, man. Like, Junior's a great fighter, man. that fight, when he took me down, let him take me down, I was working at McGill's a lot, and I caught him in an arm bar. That's why I jumped guard again, because I almost broke his arm. I had a belly down arm bar on him, and he got out, and I freaking got caught in a triangle. But Junior's a monster, man. That dude's fought some tough-ass dudes. I don't know where he's at now, where he's fighting for, but
he's fighting for Titan Fighting. He's got to fight July 27th in Titan Fighting 24.
Yeah, I don't know. See, I don't know why he's not with the UFC or Strikeforce or Bellator, man. He should be.
Most definitely. And Junior, Hot Hands Hernandez coming out of the Quad Cities. He's a Muscatine, Iowa boy. I look for big things with him, and I just, I was actually the timekeeper for that fight, and I was so hoping you'd win that, but seeing Junior win it, whatever. But he is definitely a talented fighter.
Whatever.
Right.
I thought you guys were boys. What the fuck is that?
I was going for Chris, man. I'm sorry. I was the timekeeper, but I still wanted Chris to win. Damn it.
No, you know what I mean? Being an announcer, when you announce your friends and shit, it's weird, dude. Like, when I went to King of the Cage, I announced some people that I, hang out with and stuff. I watched a couple of them get beat. You just feel like a dick. You're like, you got to announce the winner all happy. You can't, you got to put the show on, I was like, man, my boy lost, and I have to announce this other guy's the winner. And, it's pretty wild. This game is fun, man. It really is cool. Now, what do you do for judging at your event, bro? Just because since we've been on that topic a little bit, it's kind of interesting to get people's takes on judges.
I have two ex-referees that were sanctioned through the state, or two of my judges, and one of them my other friend that's actually, very, he watched a lot of fights for me, and he's very, very keen on MMA. So, I have three. This is my friends, but they actually do a really good job. They love MMA. They know if you're sitting there and you're on the bottom and you're not getting beat up and you're going for submissions, you're on top, you're losing, guy. I push the pace. One of my pro fighters from Fiore's gym, he comes down, he's my ref, so they're not doing actually stands him up, and they make him work. I tell these guys, look, man, you're fighting your amateur career to go pro, so we're gonna treat you like a pro fight. We're not gonna stop the fight because you're getting punched 1 or 2 times in the head. You all train. If you haven't trained, you're just gonna show off. So you better show up, prepare to fight.
So you give them a nice pep talk beforehand. Like I noticed that some of the better promoters will do that and talk to the fighters in the back room.
I always do. Like all of them, they all know who I am. They all, see my career since I was an amateur, and they all know that I was on my own. And I show the world that you can do it by yourself. And dreams are real. I told them every time, look, I made it. You guys can make it. Just train harder and fight your ass off. This is your fucking night. Go out there and do work. They do nice shows.
How many guillotine chokes do you see in the first round? Do you discourage that?
Dude, hell, I can do it bother me. You fucking catch me a guillotine choke, you finish him. But on my show, dude, there's probably 2 guillotines. It's either knockouts, triangles, or arm bars, or dart chokes. All the fighters I have in my gyms that fight at my shows are actually very, very talented fighters.
That's awesome, dude. I like to hear that because you see some of these shows that get put on, and these guys they get real tepid, right off the rip and grab a choke.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, hey, Chris, are you up for taking a phone call?
What's that, buddy?
You up for taking a phone call from a listener?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Somebody's calling in. I'm not sure who it is, but hang on a second. We'll find out.
Okay.
Hey there, you're on with Big Perm, the Butcher, and Chris Tickle. Who's this?
This is Chris from Uncaged.
Hey, Chris, what's shaking, up, man? You got a question for Tickle?
Yeah, of course I do, man. I just tuned into the show, so I don't know if I missed anything. So if I've asked the questions they've already asked and I sound like an idiot, I apologize.
You're good, homie. Don't worry.
Hey, it's good to talk to you again, Chris. Just wanted to know, man, has Dana contacted you about maybe getting another fight inside the octagon, or what are your plans for your professional career?
I got a letter that I got cut. We all lost, so we got cut. But my coach, or my manager, did talk to Sean Shelby. And they like me a lot. Just get a win or two, and I'll be back in the UFC. So did a couple of wins. I'm gonna try to fight in August, October, November, and then hopefully the UFC picks me up right away.
Yeah, well, I'm really excited to see all you guys from the Ultimate Fighter live. You guys all put on a hell of a show, a hell of a season, and I can't wait to see all you guys, do some work inside the cage.
Thank you, man. I can't wait to get back in there, too.
Yeah, this is Chris Dansimo right here, co-host of Uncaged MMA. That's Wednesday nights at 11. we had the luxury of interviewing Chris Tickle and his opponent at the same time, and that was our favorite show that we've done. I listen to that all the time, dude. That was fucking awesome, man. I really.
And we got 9,000 listens.
That's off the hook.
Yeah, that shit's not.
9,000. That's big. What's up, brother?
Well, hey, Chris, thanks for calling in, brother man. You take care. Be well. Every Wednesday night at 11 o'clock on Uncaged MMA, you can hear Chris Dantema and my co-host, Dave the Butcher Clifford. Chris, you take care, man. Be well, brother.
Hey, thanks a lot, bro.
All right, see you Wednesday.
Well, hey,
yeah, man, that was cool. That interview was fun as fuck.
We've got about 2 minutes left with Chris here. Chris, I know you got that fight event coming up September 15th. What else is up? What else is on deck for you, man?
I'm doing an autograph signing. The 21st here for the Favorite Morale pay-per-view fight at Main Street Grill, downtown Bloomington, Illinois. So I'll be here signing autographs, and you can do an autograph signing August 11th in Jacksonville. Some fights for Jeremy. I forget his last name, Sharpley, I believe. And then September 1st, I'll be in downtown St. Louis at this new club called Coliseum doing autograph signing, and we're gonna get fucking drunk as shit. So y'all should come out.
If you're in St. Louis, come out and pound them.
Dirty Lou.
We're gonna drink them bitches like we're mad at them. We're gonna get fucked up.
And Chris, that's probably the biggest thing I like about you. Is you are who you are. There is no two sides to Chris Tickle. I mean, what you see is what you get. Love it or hate it, that is Chris Tickle.
Right. I don't want to be fake. I'm just be who I am. And just be a nice, funny, love-fearing guy who loves to fight.
And who's pretty damn good at it too.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's for sure. Now, you got any sponsors, or do you want to plug your gym while you got a minute now?
Oh yeah, man. E-Essential Business, Bam Jack Peters, CarX. Who else did I have on my freaking Murph Flowers Insurance, Park Hotel, Main Street, and you guys, man. Thanks for having me on here. Chris Maltzberger, he's a fucking awesome dude. Helped me out my pro career, getting fights, and thanks for having me, you guys.
Hey, and Chris, can people follow you on Facebook and Twitter and all that crap?
Yep, I'm on Twitter at Bad Boy Tickle on Twitter, and Facebook, just look at my name, Chris Tickle. I'm always there, and my Twitter, I always talk to my fans, man. I'm on Twitter all fucking day, shooting the shit with my fans, man. So it's actually cool, man. I like being on Twitter, talking to people.
Right on. Well, Chris, again, a huge thank you from me, Big Perm. I just want to say thanks again for taking the time, brother.
Yeah, no problem.
Absolutely.
You can call anytime, man. I'm always free to talk, man. It's awesome.
Cool.
Absolutely, man. This is the Butcher. It's a pleasure talking to you again, homie.
You too, brother. Take care, you guys.
All right, later on, Chris.
All right.
Well, Dave.
Yeah,
that was Mr. Chris Tickle. I love that
guy. I'll tell you what, I came away with a nice point of view on that cat. He's a good dude, and this is the second time I've got to interview him. And the first time it was funner than hell, and like you said, dude, that dude's a straight shooter. I like that. I hope to see him get a couple wins and get back in UFC, maybe be competitive there. Because he sure put up a good fight. And Cruikshank is, like I said, he's the real deal. He's one of those guys that people are gonna know.
And with Tickle, win or lose, that guy is going to give 110%. It's going to be an exciting fight, and somebody's getting knocked the fuck out. It's going to happen. Well, yeah, Dave, listen, man. We got just a few minutes left here. Excuse me, man. The Dunkin' Donuts coffee's talking back to me. What are you up to here in the next week or two, man? What do you got cooking?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to be in Flint, Michigan, the murder capital of the United States, at the Piranhas Arena for Fight for Freedom MMA, and it's called Operation Octagon, I think, and we're going to be putting on an amateur show there, and that's a pretty big venue. And then the following weekend, I'll tell you what, the 20th and 21st, I'm going to be traveling the entire state of Michigan. I'm going to be in the northern part of the mitten in Alpena for the Brown Trout Festival for Big John's MMA. And they team up with Rebirth MMA to put on a big show at the Brown Trout Festival in Alpena. And then right after that show, I'm going to be driving all the way down to the bottom of Michigan to Jackson for Madmen MMA, working for Steve Gossett. So I've got a lot of stuff going on. Of course, I got my show coming up Wednesday on Blog Talk Radio for Uncaged MMA with Chris Dantema called Uncaged MMA. And make sure you check out Elevation Training Mask, Bonafide Tough Guy as well. Check them out. You can find them.
You need to get a private jet, dude. All this
I like driving, dude. One of the things I like to do is give myself a lot of time, and if I see a sign that says historical marker or something cool, I just go see it. You know what I mean?
Do it, huh? Hell yeah.
That's how I like to live. I like to drive on these long trips. I like to drive to the shows that I get to do and just go see people and see America. See the Midwest, dude. It's awesome. There's a lot of great people in this great country.
Absolutely. Well, Dave, I want to say thanks again for joining in like you do every Monday night. Dave the Butcher Clifford, he can be heard every Wednesday at 10 Central, 11 Eastern. Blog Talk Radio, Uncaged MMA. I'll post a link on our Facebook page for that as well. Dave, fuck, man. We'll talk to you next Monday night.
All right, homie. As always, enjoy them donuts and coffee, homeboy. Thank you again.
Brother,
big shouts out to BlueBlood MMA, too. Thank you.
Take care, brother. Later on.
Later, Holmes.
All righty, gang. Well, that was Dave the Butcher Clifford up there in Benzonia, Michigan. I want to say thanks to him again for calling in and being a part of the show again tonight. Also want to thank Chris Maltzberger from BlueBlood MMA for scheduling such great guests. You can catch his next event this Saturday. It's Mississippi Mayhem, July 14th at Ducky's Lagoon in Andalusia, Illinois. If you can't make it out, you can catch a live stream on the internet. Just go to amateurcombatsportslive.com, and you'll be able to catch a feed there. Actually, you'll hear me and Jason, the Keystroke Guru Mug, will be calling the play-by-play on amateurcombatsportslive.com for that event on July 14th. I want to give a big shout-out to Mike and Fred at Tri-County Cab. Don't drink and drive in Central Illinois, gang. Call 309-497-1111. They'll get you home safely. Also, AJ at Jam Screen Printing. You need screen printing done? PeoriaJams.com gets it done. Got to give a big shout-out to Jason at QC Insurance. For all your insurance needs, gang, it doesn't matter what kind of insurance you need. QCinsurance.com is who you want to get a hold of, and they will get you squared away. Gosh, there's so much more. This week's show has been brought to you by the great folks at Cage Concepts. Cage with a K. CageConcepts.net. And all the music credits tonight to Bill Dollar Bill Magnus and Protestant Beat, Amped Up Entertainment. Guys, don't miss next week's guest. We're going to talk with Dave Monet, Kenny Robertson, a whole bunch of stuff going on. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and have a great night.
That was way before I started twisting up the blunts. But now I don't drink and I don't touch cigarettes. We was legal way before Bosa, who's a hypocrite. Legalization is hesitant, but if Clinton got caught not inhaling, would he ever make president? I elevate awareness for the youth who want to know the truth. It's never claimed a life or cause cancer, and that's proof. Let's take time to give props to
Juice by Prophet.
We need to make a difference, you should come and take a glimpse. We can sell hemp everything, but can't create the hemp. It doesn't make sense, they would rather play hangman. But when it comes to weed and hemp, it's not the same plant. So we decided to give the work to Canadians. It's like the U.S. is ran by a bunch of crazy men. Kids can get weed quicker than a pack of squares, but the weed man could also have a bag of crackers spare. The common sense can't be ignored. If it was legal, they wouldn't get a choice like that from the store. And did you know that weed is less addictive than a cup of caffeine? Between the drug test and all the fines is sack green. I elevate awareness for the youth who want to know the truth. It's never claimed a life or cause cancer, and that's proof. And that's proof.
In the time it took you to view this film, 475,000 of our peers have become hopelessly addicted to marijuana. So the next time one of your pals tells you that marijuana is out of sight, just say, "No thanks, Skeeter. I'm okay the way I am."
If the brains make the bacon and the weed stimulates the brain, imitate my pain, cause I can't figure out what you're trying to explain. It sounds like a game. It sounds like if I was high, then I couldn't write this, and that's insane. Cause I'm high right now, high as a plane. I'll make a change, like Obama promised us before he got elected. I feel obligated to give you the truth, accept it. You're allowed to smoke a cigarette and die from it, but you're not allowed to smoke a joint and get high from it. It's a miracle plant with many medical uses, but alcohol can make you be heavily abusive. I elevate awareness for the youth who want to know the truth. It's never claimed a life or cause cancer, and that's proof. Jack Black, Johnny Depp, Dave Chappelle, even President Obama admits that he inhaled. Brad Pitt, Jonah Hill, can't forget Michael Phelps. I ain't just grabbing random names off the shelf. Harrison Ford, Jeff Bridges, be real. Matthew McConaughey smokes weed still. Dennis Hopper, Sean Penn, Paul McCartney. Seth Rogen, and we all know Bob Marley, Snoop Dogg, Willie Nelson, and Joe Rogan. Ron Paul, legalize it is a slogan. Woody Harrelson, Bill Murray, Tommy Chong, Stephen King, and I believe it goes on. I elevate awareness for the youth who want to know the truth. It's never claimed a life or cause cancer, and that's proof. Let's take time to give props to.
Produced by Prophet T.